Tech Effect.
Welcome to Tech Effect, a monthly podcast series brought to you by TestDevLab. I'm Adrian, the host of the podcast, and together with industry experts, we provide discussions and advanced insights about trending topics in software engineering. Don't miss out on new episodes, and let's keep advancing our skills and knowledge set. Hello and welcome!
Hi.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone to podcast Tech Effect. In this particular episode, we'll be discussing the topic of audio and video software quality manual testing, correct?
Yep.
And we will discuss what it is, how it's done, and why is it important, and when to actually use it. Hello, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Edgars. I am one of the basically first members of our AV department. Been working with AV for it's like 3 years, I guess. And was a part of one of the longer running AV projects. And I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Awesome. About me, I'm an expert in audio and video testing, leading efforts to ensure the accuracy and consistency of test result data. Also managing one of the largest and biggest benchmarking projects. So thank you, Edgars, for joining us today. It's really great to have you on the podcast. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm excited about joining this podcast. I've been watching before.
You've been watching before?
Yes, of course.
All of the episodes?
Maybe not all, but but some of them that were more connected to me, like with Dennis and maybe like Romance.
Yeah, that was the first one. That was really nice. It's
Yeah.
actually how it all started. So let's start with the most serious question in the whole series. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, which food would you pick?
Well, starting with the hard hitters already. I would say, I would like to say chicken and rice to justify how much of that I eat, but I would say maybe like pancakes. I like making pancakes on Sunday mornings. Cheat meal, I guess.
There's probably protein pancakes.
That's another question, but yeah, probably pancakes. Like making them.
Let's move to maybe more topical question. Why did you choose to work in the IT field?
I worked with computers like already when I was a kid. Maybe from I started using a computer when I was like 4, and back in school, I would usually be the tech kid that would like help teachers with presentations and whatnot. I mean, I had the chance to miss lessons and stuff. That was nice, but I was always interested in computers and IT, and going forward, I just saw it as a thing that I could do for the rest of my life. I guess
It amazes me that you started it at the age of 4. Amazing.
I mean, just as I learned to read, I could read the stuff on the computer, and kind of just went on from there. I guess just had a knack for it.
How did you land up, and why did you exactly choose the quality assurance? Because as we know, there's a lot of different ways you can go in the IT field.
Yeah. When was back at it again? When I was a kid, we would work at our countryside home with my brother and my father, and there was always this running joke from my father that my brother would always lose stuff, and I had like a knack for breaking stuff. And in a way, I guess it reflects to my everyday job as well, just finding things to break in, like software and hardware maybe, and to just work on from that. But otherwise, it was just like one of the opportunities that came up after university. And others told that it was interesting. I tried it out, and it is really interesting.
Would you choose to work in a software QA if you had to do it all again?
Yeah, I think I would. I have tried other things as well. I've tried some development stuff that just was like a part of our QA work in our project, and writing scripts, writing code, but straight up just delving into the software and then trying to figure out how it works, how to break it or whatever, without real guidelines. That's kind of how I started, and what I enjoy doing.
But how did you get to the audio and video testing?
In TestDevLab, one of the first projects, or rather the first project I worked into, was also somewhat connected with audio video, and just the opportunity came up. I was recognized as someone that could maybe start out in the audio video department, as it wasn't really a department yet. It was like one project, two projects, and with me and others that started out, we were like maybe like 15 people at the start. We managed to grow the projects and make the department, and now we're like more than 100 people working on this stuff, and it's been fun. And with also the more recent stuff that happened with how the demand rose, there was always work to do and like results to get, and it's been fun.
Incredible growth over the years. I think let's maybe discuss more what is the purpose of the manual audio and video testing, and how does it differs from the automated ways?
So manual testing in general, it kind of goes down to audio video as well. It's like the first step in evaluation of like conferencing apps or like other voice over IP solutions, to just explore the like basic quality, basic functionality of the product, and from that you can obviously grow it into like automation and whatnot when you want to scale it up. But we do audio video evaluation. It's handled by highly skilled engineers in highly customizable setups that can be customized to accommodate any like requests that our clients make. We always offer everything, basically what we can gather, we offer to each other, like every client, and then they can choose what we run, and then from that we can grow it into automation and stuff like that.
Okay. When do you think companies should opt for the manual and audio video testing?
Frequently when it's like a fresh product, newly made application, or it's just someone that wants to branch out into audio video stuff, and the software has like frequent changes or like in functionality, or changes in quality, and maybe like the solutions with various network conditions and stuff like that. Manual is sort of like better than automation, because we can adapt more quickly to that stuff.
So it means you can get immediate results, right?
Yeah, the engineers can immediately notice maybe some observations in the functionality or the quality, maybe set like subjective results already from what they see in testing, both for video and audio. Maybe like notice things in network side, and that we can immediately offer to the client and just show them, and maybe change the process as needed, the setup as needed. With more established clients that have been working in the field for longer, automation can be usually better, as it just the functionalities are mostly the same. You just make the setup and you can run it over long time periods and gather results daily and whatnot. But the manual testing is more customizable and more day-to-day stuff that can.
So it's more for the exploratory testing type of ways, and some other use cases that can be automated potentially.
Yeah, with more recent times, how the requests have been coming in, it's more of that sort of thing. When it was starting out, it was mostly manual testing, because even we didn't really have automation setups up to that scale yet. It was mostly manual testing, manual result acquirement, like running scripts, evaluating the qualities. But the whole industry changes and grows, and we need to adapt to it.
Yep. What are the technical differences between testing the software audio quality and testing, for example, the video quality manually?
mostly the testing for both audio and video is done at the same time. The setup is mostly like one large entity, but the idea itself is that audio quality is mostly full reference, just running the appropriate algorithms to get results like polka, visco, and stuff like that.
What does the full reference really mean?
You have the original audio file and you have the end file from the receiver device, receiver user, and then you just compare it one to other, and the algorithm gets the result from that, and maybe like compares stuff that we can't really hear, and gets you up like a real score from, for example, like 1 to 4.5 or 1 to 5, to really just give like the first impression of how good is it compared to the original stuff, what we can't really maybe tell when we listen to that file.
Okay.
But for like video quality, we also have full reference that you have the original video file, you have the end file from the receiver device, but there's also more subjective evaluation that uses algorithms that have been first run with our engineers, giving just their own subjective, like mean opinion scores of the video, and then those can sometimes get like more comprehensible result in the end for the client than maybe some full reference that doesn't really at first show anything unless you check like reference images, reference video files, and stuff like that. It's mostly differs in the way that we also show the data, because seeing images is more maybe comprehensible than hearing audio files, because you can listen with different devices, different headphones, whatever.
So different devices and different headphones impact the quality?
When you're basically, yeah, and also when you're using the, for example, voice over IP software or whatever, if you just have worse speakers or whatever, you're gonna have worse audio quality. With video, it's maybe less different. You know, you have your laptops and whatnot; they will have similar screens, but the audio is it's a little bit more complicated in that regard.
What type of metrics are used for video quality? Because you mentioned full reference, and where does it come from?
There's a lot of like industry standard full reference algorithms like VMAF, SSIM, PSNR. Then there are like more subjective ones like BRISC and VQTDL. And for other stuff that can come into video quality will be stuff like frame rate, FPS.
So FPS is video fluidity, right?
Yeah. Because you can have a good quality image, but if the video is not moving, like, can you really say that it's a good quality video?
Well, for the user, from user side perspective, of course not.
Also, stuff like freezes, freeze count and freeze length, and audio video synchronization. If you see someone talking but you don't hear the audio, it goes both ways, it both video and audio, and it's just more stuff to explore and investigate in that regard.
What type of specific or equipment and tools are typically used for manual audio testing, and how do they work?
Usually our setups are, for example, if there's a single sender, single receiver, there's a device that handles the audio, both input for the sender and then capturing both the sender output and the audio that the receiver gets. We have audio cards, we have, of course, cables, we have adapters to convert audio into input. All that is recorded on the audio handling device, and then, of course, sent to external servers where algorithms are run. You get the mean opinion scores basically right after the test.
So it's quite complex equipment. amount used inside.
Yeah, and it can really grow in complexity and like amount from the setup or the test that we want to get. If there's like multiple receivers, there's going to be more like audio cards, more cables, more stuff. And that's stuff that manual testing really works with.
Does somehow the equipment differs if I want to just test the audio quality and if in comparison to video quality?
For us, it's handled separately. Most of the time, you have separate audio recordings, separate video recordings. Also, there's projects where we get everything together. For example, if you want to check, like as I mentioned before, audio-video synchronization and stuff like that. But in terms of devices, maybe there's less for video quality, as it's a screen recording done on the device itself, or like in mobile setups, maybe it's a separate device that records the receiver screen. And then also, also our scripts and processing team and or like automated processing solutions get the end results that we can show to the client.
How the client can, are there different methods of how client can see the results? How do they get the results?
Well, usually there's basically always a final report that shows the data in a more comprehensible way. Maybe there's like a comparison between two specific scenarios or two specific applications or platforms to see, for example, some video calling app, how it performs on Android or how it performs on iOS. We usually work on that quite heavily to show it in a comprehensible way so that the client could really understand the importance of the data. But we also offer like the full collection of data and the like test files themselves. So if they have like specific engineers in terms of like video quality or audio quality, so that they could also take a look at them and compare like if the data really makes sense, if the evaluation would really be realistic. Because, I mean, everyone has different levels of like expertise and stuff. But yeah, we usually have graphs, tables, like comparisons and stuff. And then there's the full stack of all of the data that they can delve into further.
Could you give us insight and explain more about how is both audio and video quality testing carried out in practice?
So yeah, we have extensive testing setups, which include both audio and video testing, both for like single senders, single receivers, multiple senders, multiple receivers. And in manual testing side, a lot of it is done by the engineer itself, both starting the audio playback, video playback, audio recording, video recording, network stuff. It's all started by the engineer. We have, of course, made it so everything happens basically at the same time. And yeah, we have, as I already explained before, the audio setup with the audio cards and whatnot, with the recording of both sender output and what the receiver receives, and the screen recording on receiver device. We also have an external camera recording both screens to detect the delay between what the sender sends and receiver gets. And all of that is, of course, recorded at the end on external devices, then carried out to processing, which can then get the final data, like the actual metrics that show the quality of the call, and maybe like other things that maybe you wouldn't want to see, like in terms of, for example, like network, you would have like packet loss in video, you would have like freezes and stuff like that.
How can you simulate or create these environments?
We have extensive network setups with our own internal like virtual routers and virtual networks on which you can then set limitations on specific devices. Both like if we have before noticed maybe some application working worse on lower bitrate or with higher packet loss, stuff like jitter and all that stuff, like additional delays and all that, to just see how much and in what ways it impacts the quality.
So completely all the things you can do with network can be manually adjust to simulate the most realistic, let's say, environment.
Yeah, it depends also on like what the client wishes. Maybe it's like if for example, the application has multiple levels of how they adjust the quality depending on the like network connection. For example, if they have like one step that's like 500 kilobits, then like a megabit, 2 megabits, or unlimited, maybe they have like specific ways how they handle packet loss, be it 5%, 10%, stuff like that. If there's stuff like that, then we can just run the whole test at that, or we can set something more, maybe more realistic, where the bitrate changes over time, packet loss changes over time. There's like sudden delay, maybe sudden disconnections. We can handle all that with our network setup. And then, yeah, just see how it impacts the quality. And when there's stuff like disconnections and whatnot, it's stuff that maybe couldn't be done on automation, where you can then maybe reconnect the call, see how long the reconnection takes, stuff like that our manual side does, which is more on the fly.
Are there things like good and bad metrics that you get out of these tests? And if yes, how to interpret them?
Most of our metrics aren't really like inherently bad or inherently good. There's, you could say it's like a scale. If you see the frame rate, frames per second, you would want it to be higher, of course. If there's stuff like audio or video delay.
For the user, it's not the higher, but let's say fluid.
Yeah,
without some
maybe changes less over time. But if you have a call that's like 1 FPS slideshow, you wouldn't want that either.
If it's not screen sharing, then yeah.
Yeah. Then there's stuff like delay that you would, of course, want to be as low as possible to not lose like information over time or whatever. If the delay gets too long, the call might like refresh or reload or whatever, and then you would lose like information completely. But yeah, some like these are more obvious, and some might be less obvious for the regular user. For example, some kind of video quality evaluation, like maybe like if there's the VMAF score is like 70, it wouldn't really tell much to the end user. And then we need to show real examples, what would be evaluated high, what would be low, and show that to client as well. And then there's maybe more specific stuff that's just maybe not a metric, but like things that are detected, like I mentioned, I think before, video freezes, stuff like that. If the audio and video are in sync, yeah. And also there's stuff like we do additionally maybe on performance side, capturing how much processing power or how much memory the application uses, and that could also impact the way how the call.
So there are several type of categories that you can get metrics from, right?
Yeah. Like the major ones that we usually do is, of course, video, audio, network, and sometimes performance as well, because that is something that also can be adjusted and that will impact
also performance can impact the video quality.
Yes.
Okay.
If there's for example, if there's a freeze in the call, it could be both because of the network or because of the device not handling the call. And that's stuff that we try to explore as well.
Are there any specific challenges or limitations to the manual testing, the manual audio and video testing, and how can these be overcome or mitigated?
Yeah, like the main things that were an issue at the beginning, for example, where maybe the scale of testing that we can do, or like the types of scenarios we can do. We've tried to improve in almost everything, both like our network setup to use more specific scenarios and conditions, and there's also been stuff with like the video quality, the ways that we capture the video, the ways that we capture audio, just to completely mitigate everything that could impact the quality or the data at the end, the metrics from our side. And that has been extensive work that both helps the manual side and automation. If we exhaust like the issues on manual side, then we can implement it better on the automation as well, and automation then can use it long term, and just ensure the overall stability over time. Basically that would be most of it.
Are there any industry-specific standards or guidelines for the manual and audio video testing, and how can these be followed to ensure the consistent and reliable results?
Like the default would be the stuff that impacts testing overall, like the industry standards of testing itself, like that's listed in like ISTQB or whatever. We in that regard, our testing doesn't really differ from anything else. There's always going to be some sort of flow that we need to follow, and then ensure the quality, and so that we wouldn't be facing issues or like being some way biased towards anything, maybe like some specific applications or whatnot, maybe something that we use ourselves. We need to exhaust all of that. In terms of evaluation and like metrics, there's industry standard metrics, like for, as I mentioned, for full reference, there's stuff like VMAF and all that. And those things like this metrics specifically, if the clients have also had, everyone has their own testing always as well. If they have worked with them, the industry standard ones, they can relate, they can maybe further understand the data that we provide them. We have had clients that have done testing themselves and maybe just want to scale it up more, or for example, we prepare setups that can run one thing, then they can do their own thing on their end, and just using industry standard metrics and stuff like that everyone understands just ensures that everyone is on the same page.
What type of applications do you test? Because as I understood, there's call applications, so video conferencing, right? But what else can you test and get the quality from? We have video conferencing, various video calling, like social messaging platforms and stuff like that. Anywhere there's some sort of video or audio calling function. We also test playback stuff, like maybe videos posted on, for example, some sort of social media. We can run the quality metrics and all that stuff, and the scenarios on that as well. And streaming platforms, basically, for audio video testing, anything where there's some sort of audio or video we can test, be it voice over IP or be it like some sort of videos on demand. And can you test screen share as well?
Yeah, we have done screen sharing frequently as well. Recently, in one of our projects, I've worked with that as well. And it's really interesting actually to see how different platforms handle that. Maybe some focus more on screen sharing, like presentations and stuff. You'll have lower frame rate and just focusing on, as you mentioned before,
that's
fluidity.
the case, 1 frame per second.
Yeah. Basically, there's going to be applications that are going to focus on like not maybe 1, but like 5 FPS for basically any condition that you run. Some might have higher, specifically image quality, just to Also keeping, for example, the frame rate lower. I've seen some that have higher frame rate. Maybe they wanna share, like maybe they're playing a game or whatever, and they just wanna show their friends, and it's not a solution that's maybe used in a corporate setting or education setting or whatever, and you're gonna have just people just sharing the stuff they do with their friends, and that maybe also have different parts of it like improved.
Based on your previous experience, what would you say are the most common issues companies face with the audio and or video solutions?
Overall, TestDevLab came into industry in this capacity in a bit of a peculiar time with a global pandemic and stuff. The need for testing like conferencing or video calling apps rose quite a bit, and we were one of the people that tried to also escalate the amount that we can do on our side. And with that as well, like some common issues were how well would the applications or solutions be able to handle like higher loads of users, how they would handle users connecting with like different.
But by higher loads, you mean like a lot of people jump in the call, or
both in a single call, or just amount of calls overall if the servers get overloaded and stuff like that. Some maybe offer only like up to like 8 people, 30 people. Some have maybe bigger, like for global conferences, 500,000 people.
So different companies, different limitations.
Yeah, right. different limitations and different solutions in the end for it as well.
If, for example, okay, continue. Sorry.
There's one was with the connection stuff, with the quality of connection that people have. Maybe some solutions handle like if one user has a like maybe a worse network connection, some apps handle it better and still maintain quality for the rest of the users. Some struggle with it. One connects with worse connection and everyone suffers from it. It's stuff like that. Maybe some hadn't worked on that before, and the market kind of demanded for it, and we came in at a good time, I would say.
If, for example, someone wants to learn the audio and video quality testing, where can you do it?
Back when I started in TestDevLab, and the whole idea that audio video testing will be available, or that we're gonna do that, I had looked around for that kind of stuff, and yet universities had like research papers and stuff like the algorithms for video quality, audio quality, whatever. But I wouldn't say I really saw a lot of places that offer that kind of stuff. But now with I guess I'm gonna plug TestDevLab school because I think TDL school offers courses for that as well, for video conferencing quality testing. And I think it's not only good for the engineers. Maybe someone wants to change the stuff they do, and I can say that it's a really interesting thing to do, audio video quality testing, and I would recommend people to explore that as well.
It's quite narrow and specific niche where you like do it.
Yeah, in that regard, it differs maybe from other sort of QA.
Maybe work. That's why there isn't like ISTQB or any other certifications out there.
Yeah, specifically for audio video, I haven't really seen anything yet. Maybe someone can like
create a paper and certification and.
I think that would be good for everyone, both for the companies that want to do audio, video stuff, like make solutions for that, maybe get people more educated on that stuff, and for QA as well to just branch out into that, because I think it's a big part of our modern lives in one way or another.
What would be your advice to the audio and video solution providers?
Main advice would probably be to not shy away from finding experienced people to help them with that. For example, like, yeah, again, saying that TestDevLab has experience with that, but yeah, it's just, I think that it's just a normal thing to do, to just improve their development process by exploring these possibilities of getting outside testing in that regard as well. But yeah, I think also sometimes just like in any other sphere of IT or whatever, just focusing on user responses, user feedback is also very important, because we've had situations where in real testing scenarios we can detect stuff that maybe even the developers really hadn't any idea that it happened. And yeah, it's an important thing for the audio video quality testing to be a part of the development process.
Yeah. What do you think the future holds for manual audio and video software quality testing?
Yeah, in recent times, like more established clients will more focus on automated solutions, right?
Do you think the automated solutions can fully replace audio and video testing?
Not really.
Not really.
TestDevLab has also worked in that regard on expanding the stuff that we can do. I think maybe I mentioned before, like multiple sender, multiple receiver testing. It's hard to implement in an automation side, and at the end of the day you can have multiple people working on a single setup, and you can have 30 people, like 30 user tests and stuff like that. And also we've had more of testing solutions on the go. I think we had a blog post about that, where we would have a mobile setup in a van basically, and that's kind of stuff that automation can't really replace. It would
Only if you take the Tesla and put the autopilot on it. and fully create automating system. That would be a solution for it.
But yeah, it's our job to find more solutions that we can offer to our clients and provide more sort of varying results and varying opinions on their product. And there's stuff that we have tried to implement in terms of our network that resembles like real networks, but there's still stuff like maybe connecting from different mobile service provider towers. When you, for example, driving through the countryside, driving to the city, you connect one tower, then you, for example, if there's worse coverage for the mobile network, you're gonna have like disconnections and stuff like that. It's stuff that is more difficult to do in automated setting. And for manual side, if we want to keep existing, we need to take another look at everything that we could do, and just TestDevLab is working on that. And yeah, overall, I think that manual testing in any sphere, be it like web automation and all that, manual testing is always the first step, and I think it should remain as a part of the process overall.
That's a really nice insight. I think we can start to kind of do a wrap up here, but I have one more question. The question is, what is your go-to life quote?
Yeah, for life, I think maybe not like word for word. We usually would say do things like harder than last time, or just replace harder with any adjective that you want. Maybe work smarter than last time, think longer than last time, whatever. It's just something that I usually go by, because be it like if you put in effort at 100%, you can't really blame if something goes wrong at the end. You've done the most you can, and that's it, I guess.
That's really great. That's really great. I like that. I think we can finalize this, and thanks everyone who joined our conversation with Edgars, where we discussed and spoke about the manual testing for audio and video software quality. It was quite informative discussion. I think you would agree on that, right?
I'm happy to hear that.
If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow us on our podcast on Spotify or YouTube to catch more episodes where we will speak with more experts in various software engineering fields. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions for the future topics that we could cover, or anything else you'd like to share with us, please just reach out on us to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, where we can found under the name TestDevLab. So let's continue to improve our skills and knowledge, and see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, Edgars. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Cheers.